Machloikes, Rabbi Yudah, Rabbi Yossi, and Shmuel, reference to Hafsaka, reference stopping. So everyone has the paper which have been printed. Everyone has the papers here. The Ran versus Sukkah. Where's David? From Brazil. David and Lady, come close. Shmuel, זה סיבוב בפנימיה, אני רוצה לראות את כולם. גיא, כל מי שנמצא. Where's Nachman Yosef?
Finish.
Do you have the papers?
Yeah.
Everybody has the papers? You have?
לשמוע גם היום.
Papers. Joseph, do you have the papers? Here. Turn this, Yaakov. Hello, Mark? Yeah, I don't know how to play around with this. You don't have the sound. Okay. No, Hashem. Okay, today, Bezrat Hashem, right after the Shiur and Mincha, we're going to have a smicha. I'm going to give smicha to Rabbi Yoshua. Graham, Bezrat Hashem. I tested it. He knew very well. Baruch Hashem. I want everybody to stay and give him the kavod. We're going to have a meal here. The meal of, even though the whole Yeshiva is not getting a fleshika meal, we're going to have here a fleshika meal. We're going to have organic cakes, healthy food as well, so people can stay. So I want to start today. It's a happy day. What? No, we're not going to say that. I'm going to say that. It's a happy day for Yeshiva. Okay. David, Rabbi David, come take a paper. Everyone has a paper, not going to use the act. 2 sides and 1 new one printed. Good. Shmuel Chayesh. Melech, do you have a paper? 2 sides? Good. Okay, let's start. Everyone should have a Gemara. You don't have two sides? No, sure, we have here. Good. Good. Siyata Dishmaya. With the help of Hashem. Today, our goal is to understand the three opinions of Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi, and Shmuel. Mainly Shmuel, but that's the halakha. Okay? But in order to understand Shmuel, you have to understand first what Rabbi Yehuda says, what Rabbi Yossi says, and what Shmuel says. Okay? Ziyad Shmuel. We're talking about the sugya is hafsaka. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we talked about atchala. Now we talk about hafsaka. Hafsaka means a recess, a break. Break. If somebody started beheter, somebody started before somuch lemincha, started beheter to eat, and now Shabbat enters, Erev Yom Tov enters, Erev Pesach enters, all three possibilities. Does it need to stop or not? There's three opinions here. And the Gemara says the halacha in Erev Pesach is one way, Erev Shabbat is another way. Let's see. Rabbi Yehuda says you must stop. You must stop in Erev Shabbos, Erev Yom Tov, and Erev Pesach.
This is when he started the heter?
When he started the heter. According to Rabbi Yossi, when he started the heter, you can go on and eat. And even when Shabbos enters, Yom Tov enters, you can continue eat. And I'm going to add, and even if Erev Pesach enters, you're allowed to continue eating. Rishonim, the Rashbam, Tosfot, the Rabbeinu Dovim, all of them are mentayek from the language of the Gemara. The halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda of Pesach, seems to me that Rabbi Yossi argues even in Pesach, that when you started the heter, when you started before mincha time, before near mincha time, before the 9th hour, Rabbi Yossi says you don't need to stop. Not only in Erev Shabbat, not only in Erev Yom Tov, even in Erev Pesach, which the Gemara said, according to Ravuna, we learned last week, that by Erev Pesach, Rabbi Yossi admit that you're not to start, because you might become Achila Gasa or not let Ovoin, the Achila Matzah of the night. Yet, even in Erev Pesach, Rabbi Yossi says, when you start at the heter, you don't need to stop. What do you mean, Kavachoyim? You eat all day, from the 9th hour all the way to the night, you'll be full and bursting. No. So Rabbeinu Dovin answers, we learned it last week, and once you start eating, your me'ayim, your stomach is open, you continue on eating more. This is the basic small we have to understand. But when you start and you stop, like a person eats ice cream, he closes his stomach, he can't eat anymore. Okay, this is, so Rabbi Yossi holds, you don't need to stop. Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel, Bodkach Yeshanayeh, Yosef, do you have Nayeh papers? Come. I'm happy you came. So, we said, Rabbi Yehuda says you must stop. Rabbi Yossi says you don't need to stop, even in Erev Pesach. Shabbos, Erev Shabbos, and Erev Pesach. If you started the heter. And Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel says, not like Rabbi Yehuda, not like Rabbi Yossi, rather, poires, mapo, umekadish. You cover the bread and the food with a piece of cloth, and you do kiddush, and you open the cloth and you eat. This is what the Gemara says. Those are the three opinions. First of all, before we start understanding what's going on, we have to identify what are the problems. What is the arguments about? So we saw in the Rishonim in the Gemara, two major problems, okay, which we have to deal with. Number one, everyone has a paper, In the second page, turn it up, is a Mishnah in Masechet Sukkah. Mishnah in Masechet Sukkah. The Rashbam, by us, brings down in the word of Shmuel why you need to cover with a mapah and you have to sanctify. He said two svarot. One is because you need to cover the bread. You want to shame the bread, you're not doing Kiddush with the bread, just with wine. Number two, you need to designate the meal for the sake of Shabbat. So the same way Rabbi says you have to take away the table, stop, take away the table, bring it back. Shmuel says you don't need to take away the table, you can cover with a mapah. It's like taking away the table. Then you open the mapah and you can eat again. So you start it again. So you designate the meal for the Shabbat. This is the Rashbam says. Now, let's see the Mishnah in Masechet Sukkah. Mishnah, Masnisi. Mi sheba baderech velo hoyo beyodo lulav litoy. If somebody goes on the way and he travels and he doesn't have a lulav in his hand to shake. Leshikones lebeisoi, when he enters his house. Yitol al shulchono means before you eat. That's what the Gemara translates this. Before you eat, shake the lulav. Gemara. Amar noikol al shulchon. You said you shake it on your table. Lemeimu demafsik. This tells you need to stop. You can't eat. You need to stop. Veraminu. We learned in Yitchilu Mafsiki. If you started already, you don't need to stop. Omar Afsafo Lekashya. Odi Kishus Bayom Ledushim. It depends if there's time or not. Omar Ovid was important for us. My kush is not a question. Do you know how the Raisa or the Rabban? This is what's important for us. The Gemara makes a chiluk between the Raisa and the Rabban. If I have the mitzvah of lulav, which is doraisa, I have a mitzvah of kriya shema, which is doraisa. I will add, I have mitzvah of kiddush, which is doraisa. If I have a mitzvah doraisa in front of me, I'm not allowed to stop. And even I start, I need to stop because I have a mitzvah doraisa. So by lulav, why you need to stop the meal? Because lulav is a mitzvah doraisa. By davening, which that's the Mishnah that you don't stop, is the Rabbanon, I don't need to stop. The question that Rishonim asked, Tosfot on the spot, the Ram and other Rishonim asked on the spot, very simple question. Why by us? This is really the beginning point. Why by us, by Kiddush and Erev Shabbos? Or I will add by Achilas Matzah and Erev Pesach. Why Rabbi Yossi says in all those cases, an hour sugya. You don't need to stop. Okay, maybe I don't need to designate the meal for the sake of Shabbos, for the sake of Pesach. Good. And Dois explain why, how it works. The Kiddush works later on, retroactively. Good. You don't need an action to designate the meal for the sake of Shabbat. Spoke about it last week. I think I already spoke so many places. I don't remember if I spoke about it here. I didn't explain it those things. What? At night I spoke about it. I didn't teach you. Okay. So now there. So Tosfot in the Kufa Mud Aleph, Dibur Amatchim Rabbi Yossi Omer Mafsiki. Toisa says, in our Gemara in Pesachim, Toisa says that according to Rabbi Yehuda, that I need to stop means I need to take away the table and bring back a table to designate the meal for the sake of Shabbat. Rabbi Yossi says I don't need to take away the table and I don't need to stop. Toisa says mashma in the second line. Rabbi Yossi Omer Mafsiki. Vegoimer kol asud b'or b'gamozon. You finish the whole meal and you say b'kas hamozon. Ve'achar kamekadosh, and afterwards you do kiddush. Mashma dein tzorich lasoy suudo l'shem Shabbos. Toisa makes a ruling. Understanding. Pinchas, you have papers? Come close. Elisha, you have papers?
Which Tosfos?
Rabbi Yossi Omer and Mafsiki. הם מפסיקים. So Toysa says a very important rule. I'm sorry, I assumed it, but I said it already in public, so I already ran away, jumped to Toysa and Sukkah to say, to identify the second problem. But there are two problems that we have to deal with. According to Tosfot, the machloket between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda says stop means, what do you mean stop? Take away the table. Slicha. Take away the table and put it back. Which means designate the meal for the sake of Shabbat. Rabbi Yossi says this, you don't need to take away the table, you continue on to eat, say Birkas Hamazon, and then do Kiddush. Yossi says, mashma, you confer from this, you don't need to do a meal for the sake of Shabbos.
Well, what's Kiddush? Kiddush is not
Kiddush afterwards. You finish the meal, you do Birkas Hamazon, you don't have to take away the table, and then you do Kiddush after the meal, after Birkas Hamazon. You drink 2 cups.
Kiddush.
1 cup of Birkas Hamazon, another cup of Kiddush.
Kiddush is the same Shabbos.
Right.
So there you have
I don't need to make the meal for the sake of Shabbos.
Because you said that it was pulled after, it was the meal you had before.
Oh, the tzorich marolam. If you need another meal, why eat 2 meals? You want to be skinny. You don't want to eat too much. Stop right away, and the food that you're going to eat, make it for the Shabbos. Why finish? Continue eat. Finish Birkas Hamazon. Say Kiddush, you eat again. It's no point. Stop now. You're eating already for the last 4 or 5 hours. So it must be. This is analysis of Tosfot. Must be, which is not mucha. You say, no, for some reason, he wants to have the meal of Shabbos later on, maybe at midnight, who knows what. He has friends and he's waiting for them. Could be other reasons, external reasons. But this understands, no, since Maro la'amtin yoichal miyad, yafsik miyad, why he has to wait, continue the meal, do Birkas Hamazon, do Kiddush, and have another meal, must be they don't need a meal for the sake of Shabbos. Wait a second, but the Kiddush needs to be on a Suda of Shabbos. The Toyma Yasu give a Suda, like Kiddush Mokum Suda, how can you do Kiddush without a meal? Afterwards. Yeshloima the Choshim Kid Mokum Suda, Kemet Shemiyad Achar Suda, Oisa Kiddush, Oisa Suda, Oisa Suda Shabbos. Like Tosefta says, he says Retzen and Birkas Hamazon. So Tei says no. That when he does Kiddush afterwards, the Kiddush works retroactively to have Kiddush Mokum Suda, and the meal of Choil is a double meal, double. The meal of Yom Chol that he continued is a double meal. It's a meal of Choil, but there's also oiloi. What is the word oiloi?
Goes up.
Goes up means it works also for the sake of meal of Shabbos retroactively. What's a raya is also for that? The word gam v'gam. Israelis love gam v'gam. Everything, give me gam v'gam. Also meal of Chol and also meal of Shabbos. 2 for 1. 1 meal that works for both. There's a meal of Chol off the stop. But there's also it also works for Shabbos that when you do Kiddush later on, there's oile. And what's the raya? Because what do you say? Let's say and then Birkas Hamazon. The Tosefta says, Kedemucha beTosefta. He said, the Ktanim where is it? The Ktanim Mila de Rabbi Yossi umaskir shel Shabbos Hamazon. You say let's say Birkas Hamazon. So what do you mean? I just want to summarize. It's very important. So what do we see from Tosfot? We see from Tosfot that is gam v'gam. Also, both, 2 for 1. That really according to Rabbi Yossi can continue on and eat the meal of Yom Chol. You don't need a designated meal special to action to take away the table and put it back. Akira Sashulchan, Birkas Hamazon, to do a maise for the sake of Shabbos. That's the language. You don't need to do a meal of Shabbos.
There doesn't have to be a mice. It could be a mice.
He says you don't need to do. What's the
Okay, but
So now you don't need to do. But later on he says, what about Kiddush? And the Kiddush needs to be on the meal. Where's the meal? Says, oh, retroactively works on the meal. So if it retroactively works on the meal, so that'll be turned to a meal of Shabbos. And the proof is that you say, let's say, and the Birkas Hamazon. So you have to say, make rationalization to this Tosfot that is gam v'gam, 2 for 1. It's also Sudas Choil, but also oiloi works also for the meal of Shabbos and Kiddush later on. What's the raya? Because you say Retzeh. How can you say Retzeh on the meal of Yom Chol? You can say no. Maybe it's a meal of Yom Chol. Listen, I want to say another side. Maybe it's really a meal of Yom Chol. Just in the deen of Saud, the Kiddush walking Sauda, the Kiddush walking Sauda, it gets attached. That the Sauda is oil the Sauda Shabbos, and it's not a flying Kiddush, it's an attachment. That's what it means. And so what about Ritzei? Ritzei, so what about Ritzei? Maybe Ritzei because it's already Shabbos, it's Ritzei, but that's what's the proof of Tosfot. Tosfot brought a proof that it works at Shabbos because he's saying Ritzei. He said, no, really it's a Sudas Choil, but the fact that he's saying Ritzei because already Shabbos means some Shabbos stays, some Shabbos is there. So that's why it's not awkward to say that the Kiddush later on works retractively, that it works for that, but it doesn't mean really is it, oh no, it's really 2 meals, it's a meal that has both functions. So I rather say, not that really is a meal of Yom Chol, just in the dinim of Suda Shabbos, Suda, the Kiddush Wokum Suda, and that din is oil as Suda Shabbos. It's not really, you don't need a meal for Shem Shabbos. And it's not a meal for Shem Shabbos, it's just in the dinim. And din of Kiddush Wokum Suda, and din of Retzei, but in essence, it's not a meal of Shabbos. Or no, it's really in essence 2 meals. It's a meal of Yom Chol, and also a meal of Shabbos. Okay?
But can you just say what the second Shabbos came in, he's still eating, so what he's eating after his Shabbos? What is he?
No, what do you mean after? He's not eating after nothing.
He ate.
He continued to eat means after the time.
After the time.
Yes, when Shabbos comes in, bingo, 5:43, today was Vasikim, 5:43, it's Shabbos, 7:53, it's Shabbos, no?
So then he continued eating, right?
Yes.
So what he ate after is called Shabbos, and what he ate before is
By itself, without designating. Oh, I'd rather say that, I agree. I'd rather say that doesn't mean that Rabbi Yoshi doesn't need a meal of Shabbos. You don't need to do an action to make a meal of Shabbos. You don't need to take away the table and bring it back to designate the Shabbos. By itself, Shabbos becomes Shabbos. Shabbos Kavanaf, it becomes by itself Shabbos. And therefore, wait a second. So if it's a meal of Shabbos, so do Kiddush, stop? We say no. Kiddush needs to be in a meal. You could do it retractively. What about it say? It's half of it was a meal of Yom Chol, a meal of Shabbos. So it's not a half chetz meal of Shabbos. So it's not really gam vegam. It's not really both. No, when Shabbos enters, boom, it stops the meal of Yom Chol by itself, and it turns to a meal of Shabbos. That's what they say. And when the Kiddush later on, yes, bro.
Why can't you say that the Yom Chol food becomes part of Shabbos? Why you have to split it too? It turns into...
I said I'd rather say. I don't know. Not more.
Okay, that will come.
Not more. I have a few options. Not more.
Okay, either way it's a good right.
Yes. Either way it's no more. Just I'd rather say. I'd rather say later on what? Yes.
Bring it right from the Gra. He says that you have
From the Gra?
Yeah, it has to be complete in the pure lucky. You have the complete meal, so you can't split it.
Yeah, but you don't have right from the God towards Pshat and Tosfot.
You do.
What's the halacha? You will see.
Because if you split it, then you don't have a complete meal. You don't have only Shabbos. You have by itself when Shabbos enter. Boom, it changed. I mean, meal of Shabbos. Yes.
If you drink 2 revias of wine, that's considered a matzah.
Right. What can we do? Right.
We do like the soda, but
So that's another solution they should have brought out. He drinks two cups of wine. He loves wine. He drinks two gavis. What's wrong?
the problem is you're defining this.
But Tosis didn't say that solution. Why not?
When he says when you say the word oh,
Maybe he doesn't have enough wine. Maybe he drank it all meal and finished the meal. But he should have said in concept this is the solution. But the answer is, I just want to answer. The answer is if he drinks two gavis, it's a meal. And Tosis proved that he's not doing another meal. Otherwise, he's stuck now. That's another answer. Yes.
it's one meal. You have to have a full meal. You have to be satisfied in one meal. You can't have half a meal and be satisfied.
Who told you that function? The Goldstein says la locha. I'm not saying it says Tosfot. Rabbi Yosef says la locha. But Rabbi Yosef is not la
I'll
locha.
tell you, according to Tosfot.
Yes. The Rabbi Yosef.
According to Rabbi Yosef.
Right. Who said the God does not do Rabbi Yosef?
Okay, good. So no, he said you have to go more. You have to complete
Yes.
the lesson Tosfos is.
Yes.
He says you have to go more. Call hasuda. What's call? What's the word call? Once they come more hasuda without the word call.
Yes.
With a riot, there has to be a whole suda.
Wait. What is he talking about? Finish the whole meal. That's what he says.
He
Continue to eat and finish the whole meal. The whole meal of Yom Chol Adarabah. This language mashma, that's a Yom Chol meal.
No.
And it just works for both. Also works for that. Adarabah. From the language is like my first position. Again, I want to repeat. I heard what you said, Adarabah. From the simple language is a contradiction. It says really you finish the whole meal means finish the whole meal of Chol. And then you do the Kasamos. Later on he retracts the word about Kiddush Suda. He says it works. And you say you mixed up. The side, you say the whole meal, finish the whole meal is Yom Chol. And then later on, he said the Kiddush later on works retractively, and also second say. So what's going on? So the simple solution is both. Or we say no, it stops, and it's half-half. So it means goymer, it means the physical goymer, where really, for Shabbos, it just turned to Shabbos by itself. So I rather say that, like you said now, because of the more later on we'll see. And Daf Kuf Hey. But in the language, definitely seems to be that it's really a Sudas Yom Chol and Sudas Shabbos. Oiler law works also for that. Means it's both. Gam vegam, 2 for 1.
Not so.
Yes.
Because you say Kol Hasuda.
Goymer, you finish. Rabbi says you don't stop.
Right.
You don't stop your meal of what?
Right.
What's the word don't stop?
Don't stop.
What does that mean don't stop? The meal of Yom Chol, don't stop.
The
The eating of Yom Chol, don't stop. The eating of Yom Chol. The food that is ate in the time of Yom Chol happened to be the meal of the day of Yom Chol.
But that's not the essence of what he's talking about.
But it's not the essence of Shabbos too.
What?
It's just eating happened to be the day of Yom Chol and Shabbos.
That's also true. But
That's also true. So I mean eating of Yom Chol continues on. You finish that eating the meal.
It's only eating happens to be on Yom Chol. That's not the eating of Yom Chol.
No, it says.
Wait a second, it's a meal, the Seudah. It's a oichel or Seudah.
What?
It's eating or a meal.
It's he doesn't use the word eating, so it's a meal.
A meal, so he's finishing the meal of Yom Chol that he started from.
No, but it's a meal. But you're talking, you're marking it as.
I didn't mark it, twice it says
I know
Seudah.
how you're explaining what he said.
I'm not saying, I'm saying the word. You finish the whole meal. Means that what you ate before it's a meal, and you finish that whole meal. So what before is not eating, is a meal. So the meal of Yom Chol, at the time that happened to Yom Chol, you finish that meal. So simply means that it's a meal of Yom Chol. Then later on he says, it's also works for Shabbos. What's going on? Okay, so, okay, I'm not arguing here, I'm saying the simplicity of the language. I'm not arguing it's not the simplicity of the language. I'm saying concept can be many options, but in simple language is Yom Chol that also works for Shabbos.
That was the word called.
Rabbi.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, do you want to give it to Rabbi Yisrael? Okay. Okay, I don't want to do too much on it because I want to lose the focus. See, after the Shemai, listen. Baruch haba Rabbi Yisrael. Okay, so we defined, it needs more definition, you have to learn well places. Tosha says that by Erev Pesach, what about the 4 cups? There's no meal. Okay, the first cup works also retroactively, but the other 3 cups is without a meal? He says yes, without a meal. What about matzah? The Maharsha answers. What about the matzah? The Maharsha answers, he ate it before. But he ate it before in the meal of Shabbos after the time of Knesset Yom Tov. So that's it's both the eating matzah for the sake of Yom Tov of matzah Pesach, which is also a meal of Chol, also a meal of Shabbos. That makes more sense. It will be a meal of Yom Tov by itself, because the time came in, and therefore you're eating the matzah for the sake of Yom of Achilas matzah. So that's there. From this Maharsha, I would rather say the other side. It's not gam vegam. Maybe it's also gam vegam, and in the gam of Yom Tov, I'm eating the matzah for the sake of Achilas matzah, Chiyuv matzah. Okay. Open sky. Shamayim ptuchim.
He's not allowed to eat the matzah before. He has to eat matzah shiur.
Right.
Only after it says in the Talmud, he's allowed to eat the matzah.
Correct.
After.
So now he's eating in the time of Yom Tov.
That's matzah. He said afterwards.
Correct. So
What's the problem?
the problem is, I want to know, this Maharsha proves that the meal is a meal of Yom Tov, or it's really a meal of Chol that also works in the Yom Tov. can you see those, you can say those two options still according to this mashal now. It's harder to say that it's gam v'gam. Rather than say yop shot. And when the yom tov enters, boom, it changed by itself. You don't have to do an action to designate it. But by itself it works. Okay. But it's too open. The language is mashma that is gam v'gam. Okay. Now, Rabbi Omar Shmuel, the third opinion, which is the halacha. Rabbi Omar Shmuel says, here David.
Where are you reading now?
I'm reading now in the Gemara. Daf Kuf Hamudam. Omar Rabbi Omar Shmuel. Ein halocha lo kerab Yudo lo kerab Yosi, ela poires mapo mekadosh. Okay? The Gemara says, Rabbi Omar Shmuel, which is an Amoyro, he says the halacha is not like Rabbi Yudo. You don't have to stop. Not like Rabbi Yosi, not like Rabbi Yudo that says you need to stop. And not like Rabbi Yosi that says you don't need to stop. Rather, you cover the bread and you do Kiddush, and then you uncover it. The Rashban says, oh, because you're shaving the bread, you have to cover the bread, it's not in general, the side piece. And you do Kiddush. Or he says, covering the bread, it's another way of taking away the table. It's poquito. It's a small taking away table. Means, Rabbi says, I hold like Rabbi Yossi, I don't need to do an action to designate the meal for Zekav Shabbat. But a small action, covering the bread and uncovering, it's a small action that it turns it to the sake of meal of Shabbos, of Yom. It's a small. Okay. Guys, now we're ready to think more. No, not ready. One more point. Rabbi Omar Shmuel is an Amoyra. How can he argue on Amoraim, on Tanaim? Normally an Amorah cannot argue on Tanaim. We have Rabbi that says he must stop. We have Rabbi Yossi says he can continue. And Shmuel says the middle ground, cover the bread and make Kiddush. So the Rashban says really holds like Rabbi Yossi, you don't need to stop. She says Machmir. Is Machmir like Rabbi a little bit to cover the bread. Toysa says he found a Yerushalmi that is a third opinion, which wasn't mentioned in Gemara, Chachomim. The Chachomim hold the middle ground. You cover the bread and you reopen it. Which middle ground means you need a designation for the meal of Shabbos, but not a full action, a small action of covering the bread and reopen it. So now after the Kiddush is designated for Zekav Shabbos. Okay, so now we're ready for the Gemara and Daf. No, before the Gemara, let's learn the Mishnah in Sukkot Daf Lamed Ches. Now we're ready for the Mishnah in Sukkot Daf Lamed Ches. The Gemara in Sukkot, which we started, guys. Now we have three opinions: Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi, and Shmuel. Okay. The Mishnah in Masechet Sukkot represents another problem, which this problem our Gemara ignores apparently, or that Rishonim ignore here in this spot, which we have to understand. Is it an additional problem, and it's a side problem which we have answers for it? Or no, this is a central problem by us. This is what we want to explore today. There's Rosh. We know, we just learned the Gemara in the Mishnah in Masechet Sukkot Daf Lamed Ches. If somebody has a mitzvah of lulav in front of him, Omar Rohe, lo yikashi over the Oraisa Darabon. If it's the Oraisa, he must stop. If it's the Rabbanon, he can continue. If you have a mitzvah the Rabbanon, like Kriyas HaMegillah, reading Megillah is only the Rabbanon. Davening, Shachris, Mincha. Shachris, Kriyas, Kriyas was the Oraisa, but let's say Mincha. Mayim, I already said Kriyas Shema. I said Kriyas Shema already in synagogue early, I was Sephardi. Wait till I need to say another Kriyas Shema lechumra at night in my house. Only a rabbinic, only a chumra, not a Doraisa mitzvah. Megillah is only Rabbanon. So if I have a rabbinic mitzvah in front of me, do I allow to eat or not? The Gemara says, the Rabbanon, I'm allowed to eat a meal because I'm not worried you're going to forget the mitzvah. But if there's a Doraisa mitzvah in front of you, like Kriyas Shema, like Lulav, which is the Oraisa mitzvah. Those are the cases the Gemara brings down. There, the Gemara says you're not allowed to eat. Because if you're going to eat, you might forget. If you're going to eat, you might going to forget the mitzvah. The Gemara says somebody comes home. Somebody comes home, don't eat, don't sleep, don't relax, and then daven mayim and say Kriya Shema. Because what will happen? You're going to fall asleep, you forget. You're not allowed. It's a Isu. By the Oraisa, it's a Isu. But the Rabbanon, it's not an Isu. I'm going to add now B'dikas Chometz. 14th at night, you need to check the Chometz. Can you come home and relax and eat and learn Torah? Oh no! You have a mitzvah of B'dikas Chometz. Wait a second. The B'dikas Chometz is the Oraisa or the Rabbanon? Rashi says it's the Oraisa. Tosha says the Rabbanon, if he did Bitul. If he didn't do Bitul, it's the Oraisa in the Tosha. So you have a mitzvah of the Oraisa. Which mitzvah of the Oraisa? Okay, we learned for about 2 months, researching what's the mitzvah of the Oraisa.
Still learning it.
You're still learning it. That's good, I'm happy. So it's not so clear after learning a couple of months, right? And that's clear, but it is a mitzvah. It is a mitzvah. Whatever the mitzvah is, the Oraisa. Bali Roy, Bali Botzer, who knows, like checking bugs, Polaim. It's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to bring mitzvahs upon you, to keep away from the Isu. It's a mitzvah. Isu Esel, it's a mitzvah. So now you have a mitzvah of checking. I'm allowed to eat? I'm not allowed. So the Gemara, Omar made us a rule. If it's a Doraisa mitzvah, I'm not allowed to eat. If it's a rabbinic mitzvah, I'm allowed. What about tasting? Not eating, tasting. What about learning Torah? Teima and learning Torah. Eating, I understand. You eat, people love to eat. Love to eat. You start eating, go on and on, you forget. But what about tasting? What about learning?
Learning the mitzvah of the right one.
Yeah, but you have a mitzvah right before that already in front of you. You might forget, you can't do any mitzvahs. Okay, you're right. Eating is not a mitzvah. Not a mitzvah. What about if eating is a mitzvah? I want to eat matzah. Now Pesach came in, I want to eat matzah. But I have a mitzvah of Kiddush in front of me. Okay, I want to do a mitzvah, but I have Kiddush first. So Kiddush first, the Oraisa. So what pushes what? This is the subject here by us, okay? This is the second problem that we want to understand. How come Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Mashul didn't address? Our Gemara only talks about, do I need to designate the meal? I need to stop the meal and make a new meal, take away the table or back, to designate the meal for the sake of Shabbos, Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi says, I don't need to designate the meal by action. Is gam vegam or turns by itself? 2 options of Rabbi Yossi. And Shmuel says, no, designate with a pokito action, by covering with a piece of cloth and then reopen. Okay. That's only talking about designating the meal. But what about being not allowed to eat? You're not allowed unless you do Kiddush. Okay. So stop and do Kiddush. Why need to cover the bread? Oh, so they're talking about covering the bread. But not true. That's Shmuel says covering. But Rabbi and Rabbi Yossi talked about stopping, not stopping. So the stopping, not stopping should not be designating the bread. Tosot added, and the Rashbam added. No means stopping. Stopping means taking away the table, putting it back. You have to add this whole thing that doesn't say the Gemara. The Gemara just talks about stopping, not stopping. I would say, without knowing the Rashbam and Tosot, I said, what do you mean stopping, not stopping? Because there's a problem. You have a mitzvah of Kiddush. Shabbos comes, you have a mitzvah of Kiddush. You need to stop because you didn't do anything else. It's a mitzvah of Doraisa. So Rabbi said, you need to stop. Hey, so why Rabbi says you don't need to stop? It's a machloek Rabbi. When the Gemara says in Sukkah that when you have a mitzvah Doraisa, you must stop. It's only according to Rabbi, not according to Rabbi Yossi. You can say yes. It's a machloek Rabbi. It's not Rishonim answer that. Don't you see? But Toy says in the Ram, it says no, it cannot be. It's a rule everywhere in Shas, and by Kriya Shema, by Matz, by B'dikas Chometz, by Lulav. We see it everywhere. Nowhere says that Rabbi Yossi argues. And one of that places, the halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. By, you don't need to stop by Erev Shabbos. And the halacha is by Kriya Shema and by Lulav, that you need to stop. So you can't be contradicting the halacha. So it has to be that Rabbi Yossi admits to the general rule of the Gemara, but the Raisa to stop.
Means he might be speaking against the Rabbana.
Wait, no, it's the Raisa, Kiddush the Raisa. Which Kiddush? Maybe the blessing, the cup, the drinking, the drink. Okay, but some of it is the Raisa, the talk, the words. Maybe not the cup, or the words on the cup, or not drinking. Maybe the drinking is the main. But whatever it is, there's a mitzvah d'oraisa. The Torah says, "Zachor Shabbos lekachoi." Remember the Shabbos and sanctify, or say with words, or words on a cup, or drinking with words. Whatever the tzvahs we said, the 3 tzvahs the last week or 2, but definitely is a mitzvah d'oraisa do kiddush, because the pasuk says, "Zachor et Yom Shabbos lekachoi." Remember the Shabbos to sanctify with words. On a cup of wine, it's a Shiur, the Rabbon d'oraisa, 2 sheets. So now let's go backwards. So if I would say, guys, and I'll read the Machlokes with Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi says when Shabbos enters, Pesach enters, Yom Tov enters, stop. I would say, why need to stop? Like the general rule, when you have Kriyas Shema, when you have Lulo, when you have Dikas Chomet, stop. General rule, stop. So why Rabbi Yossi argues? Does it make sense? Maybe it's not because but we have the general rule is not according to Rabbi Yossi, but the Gemara says not like Rabbi Yossi. And even Rashbam says that Shmuel holds like Rabbi Yossi, just machmi, but the Ikar is Rabbi Yossi. So how does it fit? So something needs an understanding here. Must be that no, that's not the pshat. The machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi and Shmuel is a question you need to do an action to designate the meal for the sake of Shabbat. That's the argument. Rabbi says you need a maaseh. Rabbi says you only need a maaseh. Shmuel says you need a minor maaseh of covering with a piece of cloth. But there's an additional problem, another problem. Wait a second, not covering the bread or not covering the bread. Kiddush. You must stop because of Kiddush. Because in order to do mitzvahs. So then we're stuck with Rabbi Yossi. Okay, we can understand Shmuel says you need to stop and cover. So when he says you need to stop and cover, he also says you need to stop and do Kiddush. Cover and do Kiddush. He's saying you need to do Kiddush. So you can't do anything else. It fits the whole Torah. Rabbi says stop, take away the table, and do Kiddush. Okay, so forget about the taking away of the table or not. That's the second. But he says to do Kiddush. So okay, it fits the whole Shas, and when you have a mitzvah, you can do nothing else. It fits. So Rabbi fits the whole Shas, and when you have a mitzvah, you must stop. You can't do nothing else, because you might forget. When you have a mitzvah in front of you. And Shmuel fits the whole Shas, but Rabbi Yossi doesn't fit. Because Rabbi Yossi says what? Rabbi Yossi says you can go on. How can you go on? Okay, I don't need to designate. You solve the problem that I don't need to designate the meal. Okay, because by itself, Shabbos Kol Nafsh is great. But what about you have a mitzvah of Kiddush in front of you? So when you have a mitzvah in front of you, you can't do nothing else because you might forget. And Toys even said more, that according to Rabbi, he eats matzah now. Matzah is definitely bread. Because he does Kiddush after because there's no meal later on. Now is the meal of says he can eat matzah, he can eat matzah. Matzah is definitely mamish a ma'aseh seuda. So how can you do a meal when you have a Shiur of Kiddush in front of you? Rabbi Yossi is out of balance. So let's see the two answers we have.
You said the idea of mitzvah.
Yes.
Eating of mitzvah. If you have eating of mitzvah, so maybe you don't have to stop.
Maybe it's achilas mitzvah.
Shabbos, matzah.
Shabbos is 3 meals a mitzvah. Matzah is a mitzvah. Okay? But there's another halacha in Mavin on mitzvahs. What's first? Kiddush is first.
You're in the middle of eating.
But you're in the middle of a mitzvah.
Okay? Middle of eating, not eating a mitzvah, eating of Yom Chol. So now Shabbos, that mitzvah comes first, and Mavin on mitzvah, you have to do that first.
You eat the same sumayim, no?
No, Kibbil Hashem Shamayim. Vad Hashem Shamayim.
There's a halacha. There's a halacha to eat.
The chicken.
No, okay, but now
Hashem Shemayim.
Shem Shamayim, you also can not eat and lose weight and be more Shem
Hashem
Shamayim.
Shemayim also every
Chicken
day.
is in front of
It's
him.
joking. It's not considered Chiyuv. Chiyuv Shem Shamayim. It's not a Chiyuv.
The chicken is in front of him.
What?
The chicken is in front of him. So why is it not being to go to bring kiddush? Now it's
No, the chicken was because you had from it's not a Chiyuv thing. When Shabbat enters, the Chiyuv to do Kiddush.
So now Shabbat entered, so there's a chicken in front of him, and he's in the middle of eating, he's allowed to eat, and the yain is just to bring it from somewhere else.
And it's in front of you. I'm talking about the Chiyuv. So let's see what Tosis answers. Tosfot and Sukkah says V'yeshloima. Tosfot, my kushya, the last 5 lines. V'yeshloima. V'yeshloima, places answers. Rodrigo, Pinchas Eliyahu. Do you have the Tosfot? Good. V'yeshloima. People have Tosfot and Sukkah. V'yeshloima, the shiny Kiddush Hayom. There's a difference between Kiddush of the day of Shabbos. Sheyachol lekadesh bayom kevalayla. You can do Kiddush in the day like at night. V'leika lemechesh lepshius sekulai. There's no worry for pshia, for negligence in not doing Kiddush. Because there's a long time to do Kiddush. All night, all day. The odd, another answer. Lefisha oisek. This is for you, Rabbi Chaim and Rabbi Shmuel. Ve'oy. Lefi because she'oisek besuda Shabbos. You're busy in the middle of Shabbos. What do you mean I'm busy meaning? The weekday, the Erev Shabbos meal, continue on. No. Lefi she'oisek besuda since you're busy in the middle of Shabbos. Lo yichayshim kulari, not worry all such. Shema yisatzel b'kiddush you're going to be lazy and not do Kiddush. Again, those has 2 answers. Or Kiddush you can do later on even in the day, so there's no chash of Shema. There's a lot. So such a long time, you're not worried that by you eating, you're going to forget about the mitzvah, because you have a long time to remember. Or, since you're already right now busy in the meal of Shabbos, so you're busy in Shabbos, you're not worried you're going to forget about Kiddush. What do you mean, I'm not busy in the meal of Shabbos. I'm continuing on the meal of Yom Chol.
Depends how you explain it.
Oh, very good. So from this place is approved the second pshat. That's why I said I'd rather say this pshat. Because I have a proof of place in Sukkah. That really is not gam vegam. Rather, it's a meal of Shabbos. I'm busy in the meal of Shabbos. Not oil, it also works for that. No, I'm busy in the middle of Shabbos. It's not a muchach. You say, because it's oil also, that I'm busy in it. Oil is not busy. Oil says I'm busy, that means right away Shabbos turns, Shabbos going out, Shabbos turns to the meal of Shabbos. So I'm busy, so that's Shabbos.
That meal turned this.
Mashma like the second side that we said. Yes, Rabbi Menashe.
Or why you can learn before Kriyishma, because the Kriyishma is learning Torah, so they say Kriyishma goes together.
Again, repeat loud, I have to speak loud.
Or why they say why you can learn before Kriyishma, because
Yes.
Kriyishma is
Kiyashma is,
later.
what is the,
Same Torah.
Kiyashma is Torah.
So therefore,
That's what you're learning Shabbos.
They bring down, yeah, that's the same Torah.
Okay, because you're busy on the subject.
On the subject.
God, yes. Neighbors.
So you want to say that by
Ken Bnei Simcha. Because when Shabbos enters, the meal turns by itself to become a meal of Shabbos, a new meal. Okay, we'll see soon. There's more to it. We'll see. So you made it. You're busy with it. So that's what the Kiddush turns from. You're not worried. Forget about it. Guys, before I'm going to learn the Ran, I want to learn with everyone the Kuf Hei Amud Aleph. We didn't print it. I don't know why. Kuf Hei Amud Aleph. I assume everybody has a Gemara. Kuf Hei Amud Aleph. Shalom Aleichem. You joining us and come take a piece of paper. Ask them, you know you're busy in the middle of Shabbos. You know how to read Hebrew? Okay. Sit next to this guy Melech, he may well help you.
My friend Reuben's here.
What?
I have a friend Reuben Open there.
Oh, Reuben is right here. Maybe sit next to him. We'll give you some. Push himself in. Good. Come on. Daf Kuf Hei Amud Aleph. I just want to read one Rashbam. Okay? This concept is a very important concept. And then we're going to see the Ran and the Rabbi. This is the opening of our sugi. What we want to speak about today. In concept. In Kuf Hei Amud Aleph, the Gemara says a story. It's about, you can see so well, there's 3 lines in the top. Kuf Hei Amud Aleph, page 105a, 3 lines in the top. The Gemara says a story. Rabbi Hanania bar Shlamia v'talmidei de Rav Abu Yasu b'sidoso v'kaya alay Rav Amuna Saba. I read it quick, but Rabbi Hanania bar Shlamia and the students of Rav, they had a meal on Erev Shabbos, and Rav Amuna Saba, Saba means old man, Rabbi Nuna Saba he was one of the Gladol, was standing with them and seeing, watching them, how the student of Rabbi acting. Omule, they told the rabbi, go up to the roof. That's what the Rabbeinu Hanan says, go up palm trees. Chosi and look, in the Kaddish Yoim when Shabbos entered, Shkia, Nafsik will stop. V'nikbe l'shabta, we're going to set our meal for the sake of Shabbos. That's what Rashi says. Take away the table, bring back a table, and designate our meal for the sake of Shabbos. That's what Rashbam says. V'nafsik b'akir hashashulchan will stop by taking away the table. V'nikbe l'sudaseinu b'shabta l'shem Shabbos. We're going to set our meal and Shabbos for the sake of Shabbos. Take away the meal, bring it back, do the action of the meal is better than the Shabbos. Stop the meal with an action. So it says, hey, go up to the roof, climb a palm tree, and look, and arise it. Oh, it became shki or not. Oh, it's dark or not. 3 stars, whatever. 3 stars, you don't look up. Shkia. Okay. Guys. So now, Rav Amnuna Saba, the old rabbi, said, hey guys, you tell me to go up the roof. Hey, and look if Shabbos entered, because you want to stop the meal, take away the table, bring it back. Oh, Ma'alehu, he told him, Lo tzrichisu. You don't need, very important statement. And that's the Allah, by the way. Guys, oh, Ma'alehu, Lo tzrichisu, you don't need. Shabso, kovo, nafsho. Shabbat set itself. What does that mean? The Omar Rav says, Keshem in the same way. Shabbos kovo lemaiser, kach Shabbos kovas lekiddush. The same way Shabbos sets for maaser, also Shabbos set itself for kiddush. What does that mean? If I have fruits which maaserot was not taken away from it, I'm not allowed to eat it in Eretz Israel. Fruits of Eretz Israel have to take Truma Gdola, Maaser Rishon, Maaser Sheni. You have to take all maaserot. But what happens if I want to eat aray? You know the word aray? Temporarily. That is in Spanish? Temporal. If I want to eat in temporal, I'm allowed to eat fruits and vegetables without maaser. If I eat it temporal, snack. But what happens if Shabbat enters and I want to eat a snack from fruits and vegetables and I want maaser? I'm not allowed, because Shabbos is so important that every food you eat, even a snack, you eat it for the sake of Oinik Shabbos. It turns it for Achilo Chashuba, for a set meal, important meal. Chashuba v'kavua, important and kavua. So therefore you're not allowed to eat fruits and vegetables without maaser, even aray. In the same way Rav said, now Rav Amnuna is telling the students of Rav, you know what Rav says, guys, you don't know. Because Rav, your Rebbe said something else. Your Rebbe said that Shabbos set by itself. Now let's see what the Rashbam, how he defines. So here the Rashbam defines it, and he adds 2 factors. So I want to know today, this is the Kiddush of the day, why the Rashbam said 2 factors. And I think it's a machloikas Rashbam and Ram, which really is a machloikas the Mogen Avraham, between the Machzor Sheker, the way he learns it, or the Mekor Chaim, the Nesias. Okay, we're going to see it soon in a few minutes. So now let's read the Rashbam. Which one? Rashbam Dibur HaMatchil, Lo tzrichis, you don't need. The first big line in the Gemara of Kuf Hamda. So again, let's go over the story. The students of Rav were eating a meal before Shabbos. Shabbos came in. They told Rav Amnuna Saba, the old rabbi, go up the roof and see if Shabbos ends, because we want to take away the table and bring it back, designate the meal for the sake of Shabbos. So Rav Amnuna Saba says, guys, you don't need to. Your Rebbe himself says that Shabbos sets for itself. In the same way Shabbos becomes a kavua, becomes a set, reference to eating temporal to become a set meal, reference to maises, to maaser, they're not a temporal lot normally during the week without maaser. But on Shabbat temporarily you can't because it turns to a set meal by itself. Because Shabbos is every food you eat in Shabbos, it's a mitzvah of Oinik Shabbos, so it's important eating. There's no such thing snack. Snack in Shabbos, it's a real eating, it's important eating. Because it's Shabbos, it's Oinik Shabbos. So the same way, whatever you're going to eat, you ate before Shabbos. Now Shabbos comes in, boom! The day of Shabbos enters, whatever you taste, whatever you eat, even though it's a continuation of eating a meal of weekday, it turns to a meal of Shabbos. That's the Rashba. You don't need to stop. Taking away the table. In order to separate you don't need to take away the table in order to separate between weekday meal and the Shabbos meal. Rather, the Shabbos he cover nafsho. This is Shabbos set the meal. Shabbos itself set the meal. Since Shabbos prohibits us to eat without Kiddush, you're not allowed to eat anything without Kiddush because Shabbos came in. There's no greater separation. There's no greater separation greater than this. By itself, Seuda Shabbos Chashiva Nivdeles. By itself, the meal of Shabbos is important, considered separated, Mesudas Chol from the meal of weekday. By itself, Shabbos enters, whatever you taste, it becomes important eating. So you can't eat ma'aser with a snack. Whatever you're going to eat, you're not allowed to eat without Kiddush, because Shabbos enters. So since you're not allowed to eat, you ate until now you're not allowed. So by itself, whatever you do eat, because you're not allowed to eat anything else without Kiddush, and Kiddush permits the prohibition of eating. So you have a prohibition, you have a way to permit it. So now it's like it makes it a new eating because you had an Isur, and then you permitted it. So since that separation, we have an Isur and you had a Kiddush that permits it, that itself makes it considers the meal to become a new meal for the sake of Shabbos. But the Rashbam doesn't stop here. The Rashbam continues. One more line, or 5, 6 more words. V'dai lochem. Who knows the word dai? Dai, what is dai? Enough. V'dai lochem, it's enough for you guys, student of Rab. Beprisas mapo v'kiddush. It's enough for you guys to cover the bread and do kiddush. Why the Rashbam again? Rabbi Saba told us that guys, you don't need to take away the table and put it back in order to make a separation. No, by itself it's separated. Since you must do Kiddush, because you can't eat, Shabbos came in. So the meal by itself, Shabbat, makes whatever you eat as a kavua for the sake of Shabbos. He said, but it's enough for you to cover the bread and make Kiddush. What's the word enough? Enough is mashma. We said 2 explanations and Shmuel why you to cover the bread. Or because you don't want to shame the bread, or because it's a poquito action, it's a small action of what? Of designating the meal. When the Rashbam says dai lachem, it's enough for you, means you don't need a separation of taking away the table. Dai lachem, what's the word dai lachem? It's enough for you. You don't need to take away the table. It's enough with covering the bread and doing Kiddush. Means covering the bread, it's an action, not to shame the bread. It's an action, it's a small action of separating. So since it's separated by itself, it's enough to make a small separation. Why the Rashbam needs to add a small part? Just it's separated by itself, like Rav Yossi. He understood that most likely Rav Saba didn't argue on Shmuel, which is not Moivo, that he was machmir more than Rav Yossi. Although Rabbi Yossi holds that that's Nikla Alocha, you just don't stop because Shabbos by itself turns the meal for the sake of Shabbos. You don't need to take away the table designated. By itself it becomes Yisi Aviso Achila. And the only way to permit it is through Kiddush, but now when you continue after Kiddush, by itself it turns through for Suda Shabbos. But most likely you wouldn't argue on the concept of Shmuel that you cover the bread and do Kiddush. So he added, Rashbam said, it's enough for you also to cover the bread and do Kiddush. Yes. Okay. Now wait a second. But what about, you must do Kiddush anyhow, Because when Shabbos enters, a chiyuv to do Kiddush. When Shabbat enters, there's an obligation to do Kiddush. Guys, everyone wake up. When Shabbat enters, you must do Kiddush. You're not allowed to taste unless you do Kiddush. Right? That's how it. So that separates it. But what about when you have a mitzvah of Kiddush, you're not allowed to eat? Tosh just answered, we're not worried, you're going to forget. Why are we not worried you're going to forget? Because Kiddush you do the next day, you're busy in the middle of Shabbos, because by itself it turns into Shabbos. So we're not worried you're going to forget. Just the Rashbam added, cover the bread and do Kiddush. Okay? This is what we have to add in. The problem is the Mogen Avon. Everyone, I gave everyone papers. Open the papers and let's see the Mogen Avon. Please look in the Mogen Avon. Open the Mogen Avon. Everybody has in the first page the Shulchan Aruch in Ilchos Kiyashu. The Mogen Avon and Reish Lamed Hey. Guys. What? Maybe. Here's the word Dailachem is mashma. It's another action, small action to make a separation. Mashma is not a sin. Okay. Mogen Avon, everybody has Mogen Avon. Pinchas Eliyah, yeah, Mogen Avon. David Alevi, yeah, Mogen Avon. What? Very good. You have Mogen Avon inside? Dalet, la'atchileh. The Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to start eating half an hour before the Zman of Kiyah Shema Mayim. What about not eating a meal, just tasting? Okay? This is our problem. Tasting, reference to Kiyah Shema. So let's, a little bit before I read inside, I'll tell you the subject matter. What's the problem? What we said until now, let's summarize what we said until now. We said until now that really we have two problems on the table when somebody ate before Shabbat or before Yom Tov or Pesach and Shabbat and Yom Tov and Pesach enters. We have one problem, do you need to designate the meal for the sake of Yom Tov and Shabbat by doing an action or by itself it turns to it, or small action? Three opinions. Another problem is, when Shabbat and Yom Tov enters, you're not allowed to do anything. Like any mitzvah. When you have a mitzvah of Kiddush, mitzvah of Lulav, mitzvah of Kiyah Shema, mitzvah of Blikas Chometz, all those things we learned the last few months, you have a mitzvah in front of you, you can't do nothing else, but you might forget. But what about tasting? I cannot do something else, means I cannot do eating, a meal. By Kiyah Shema, I said not to have a meal. By Blikas Chometz, you're not to have any. What about eating fruits, vegetables, jelly beans? I'm allowed? I'm allowed or not? Chocolate? Not a meal. Tasting. Kiddush. When Shabbat enters, can I eat a jelly bean? Chocolate? Ice cream? Taste not eating. Oh, very good. This is our problem at the table, the chilukim which we found, and we have to reorganize what's going on. And because of that, there's a Mogen Avon, there's the Sivas here, and then I want to connect it to the Machoikes Rashbam we just read, and the Rana I'm going to bring in a second. Okay? So listen, this is my goal today. Yes, Rabbi Shmuel. 1 second. Yes, Rabbi Shmuel.
He said a statement.
Who is he? Who, Rabbi Chaim? Okay.
You got one is tasting, one is eating.
Okay. Very good. So I said chocolate, jelly bean is tasting. And eating can be potatoes, or eating means bread. So then I didn't go into the decision if drinking wine of 2 revi'is is a meal, eating bread is a meal, eating mezoinus and setting a meal on it, or eating an amount of 3 or 4 eggs is a meal, considered a meal. But eating vegetables or eating potatoes, you can eat as much as you want, or rice, it's not a meal. It's not considered a meal of Birkas Hamazon. It's a meal. What is a meal? Okay. But in Chash of Shema Yivsha, most likely is in those rules of Birkas Hamazon, I would say. Really eating of bread, mezoinus kovea seudo, mezoinus 3 or 4 eggs, etc. But vegetables, which is not normally a meal, It's just Tima, I will put in the category of Tima. So therefore our question is, our subject today is about the Ima. Okay? So now, what?
Rashi and Rashbam says, "Asur from Kiddush."
Right. It's Gemara. It's Gemara later on.
It's like an apple. It might say,
I know that. This is what we want to clarify. As this is our work goal today. Why by Rav Yossi you don't need to stop? And you continue eating, you eat the matzah, and definitely you can even taste before Kiddush. And show you not to eat. So how he can eat? According to Rav Yossi, can continue. What about the Kiddush? What about the mitzvah? So Tais says answer the answers. Okay, we'll see. And we'll see soon. Let's see now, the Mogan Avram has a different answer, different designation. And I think Tosfot and the Rashbam is one side, and the Mogan Avram is like the Ram side, we'll see soon. That's our goal today. There's a nafkimin and halacha in this. Many, many differences in halacha in everyday life. Okay? Look in the Mogan Avram. Yes. La'atchil echol, I'm reading the Mogan Avram. Yes. Lashon HaTur, the language of the Tur. Asur likvo asur, you're not allowed to set a meal. Listen to the help of Hashem. You're not allowed to set a meal. V'chen kosvu Mordechai v'Agudo b'zeh shem Tosfos. We have three Rishonim. Tosfot, Agud, and Mordechai says that only eating a meal, when you have the time of Kriyat Shema, when you have the mitzvah of Lulav, when you have the mitzvah of B'dikas Chometz, when you have the mitzvah of Kiddush, until now it's all the same, we'll say Chilukim. When you have the mitzvah of Raisa in front of you, he's talking about Kriyat Shema, that's his subject. When time of Kriyat Shema comes, and every night, tonight, you're going to have to daven Shmona Esrei Ma'ariv Kisei Kriyat Shema. Half an hour before it gets dark, you're not allowed to have a meal. Because I need a daven unless you have a showman, somebody guards you. But if you don't have a showman, you don't have to have a meal. Everybody knows it's halacha. If you don't know where right now, you're not allowed before chatzi shah, before half an hour before the time of the night when the night comes, not to have a meal. I always have a problem. Most of the years I have that I finish to learn 7:30 every day. And I run to my house, by the time I come to my house, it's 8 o'clock, and Yeshiva davens 8:10. So I tell my wife is work all day. She's exhausted, she wants to eat quickly, go to sleep. So I must eat with her, I can't just say, Shalom. There's a Shiur in the Ksur, according to the Simach Samach in Even HaEzer, according to the Ashkenazim, to eat 3 meals with your wife. Unless she agrees that you don't eat. 3 meals. Chaim Kanievsky, all his life, he had 3 meals with his wife. His wife, he gives. Mi Karatin, Even HaEzer, who learns, who knows, says, you need to give her food, you give the wine, you have to give her dates, whatever there's rules, you give her sweet things. The rules. The rules, you have to eat with her 3 meals. 3 meals a day. No, during the week too. Okay? We don't, okay, 2 meals a day, and Shabbos 3 meals, and normal day 2 meals, right? Unless she forgives you, okay. She wants to eat something. Rabbi Shiur, wait a second. Rabbi Shiur was saying Kriyat Shema half an hour before I came. So I tell her, be a shoymer. So she puts on her phone, beep, beep, beep. So she reminds me you have to daven Mayim, sometimes have to run to the city, who knows what, Kotel, or daven in the Kotel in the house, the wall of the house, whatever it is, whatever Hashem Mavsiyat of the day. But you're not allowed. You're not allowed to have a meal. But when I'm so hungry, can I eat a jelly bean? Can I taste a piece of chocolate? Which is dangerous, or a piece of fruit. Can I or I can't? Tonight, could you or can't? So the Mogan Avram brings down that the Agudo, the Mordechai and Tosfot, all of them say only a meal, but tasting you're allowed. But the Tumas Hadeshin, Aval the Tumas Hadeshin, Siman Kuftet Mashma, the Afilo Te'im also, even tasting you're not allowed. And he brings a guy from Gemara Brachos. The Gemara Brachos says when you come home, a person don't eat. Lo yoima odom oichel kima, I'll eat a little bit. Ve'eshve kima, I'll drink a little bit, and then I'll daven, because you're going to forget. So why talking about eating a little bit, drinking a little bit? Mashma, eating a little bit. So the Tumas Hadesh understood the word eating a little bit means even te'ima. he defines eating a little bit as teima. So therefore, Tumas Hadeshen learns the halacha against the mostly shoyim, against the Tosfot Agud and the Mordechai, and he learns that every night when Kriyas Shema comes, half an hour before Kriyas Shema, you're not allowed to eat definitely a meal. That's the halacha according to everyone. But even not allowed to tasting. But according to Moshe Rishonim, you're allowed to taste. Okay? This is a giving machlok. The problem is by us. What about Kiddush and Avodah? What about B'dikas Chometz? Eating and tasting. Eating or tasting. Two subjects. Eating before mitzvah, you're not allowed to eat. What about tasting? Machlokes. But by Kiddush and Avodah, but he admits he can't even have tasting. Our Gemara, Rabbi Yossi says stop. Stop eating or stop tasting. What about tasting? Rabbi Yossi says you don't need to stop. I mean to say you need to stop. So when Tosis asks, everybody asks, but the Gemara in Sukkah says you need to stop. You need to stop eating or even tasting. So let's see what he says.
It depends what you started doing.
Wait. Ve'ayin soif tafrei tzadik beis. Ve'efsher impossible. Mishum de'avdoraisa chamirat tefillah. He says, wait a second. Maybe he makes a chiluk between Kriyas Shema and Tefillah. When the time of Mincha comes, when time of Ma'ariv comes, I said Kriyas Shema. I didn't daven Ma'ariv. So now I'm holding back the Rabbanon mitzvah of Tefillah, not the rice of Kriyas Shema, right? Tonight, I see it gets dark, I say Kriyas Shema. He says, I'm hungry. I see a falafel store. I want to eat. Can I eat? No, I can't eat. So what about jelly? What about eating? I was only chiyuv the Rabbanon of davening Ma'ariv. That is only the Rabbanon. Even in Mina, Kavur Chayvo. So now it's only rabbinic. Can I have tasting or not? Can I taste or not? He says no. Only by Kriyas Shema, which is Doraisa. Then the Tumas Hadeshen goes to the extreme. It's machloket. But this is I wouldn't say a freaky opinion, but an extreme opinion, not even tasting. But that's Tumas Hadeshen. Megillah? Very good, but he doesn't say that. He saw it inside. So it's a kasha and the Book of Home. No, but he brings a raya to Tumas Hadeshen.
So it's a swore though, it doesn't be totally in the subject.
Okay, maybe she's doichet the raya. There's no raya, which means maybe that's very good. Very good, Reb Shlomo. I like that. No, that's the solution. Wait, I want to explain what he said. Tumas Hadeshen maybe keep talking even on the Rabbanon. But the raya of the Tumas Hadeshen, from the Gemara, don't eat a little bit, which is tasting. So he says there's no raya against.
He says kosher came like it got in the.
No, wait a second. That's not a good answer. Because the Tosfot and the Agud and the Mordechai talks about Kriyas Shema Doraisa too.
Wait a second, there's the night.
And they say you're allowed to
The
taste.
night is the Rabbanon.
Here.
I think my understanding is the aloha. He talks about he's an aloha man.
The second paragraph.
Where is that?
He's showing me the Tumas Hadeshen's tshuva inside. He quotes Tumas Hadeshen. He shows me now inside that I know exactly what he's talking about. Shekoya. אבל אין לי ולא להתיר למי שכושר לא להמתי כדי שיתק מעט ולכתס מגרת משקות שלו. קימו. לא יבדל אחור כאן מיסה. יתכס מגרת שין שווים. Okay, so now I'm more convinced that I'm not going to talk about halacha. Mogan says, although we found a machloket between the Tumas Hadeshen and Tosfot, and other Rishonim, can you not only not allowed to eat when you have a mitzvah, it's also not tasting. He says that I can accept only in the Doraisa, which is very common. Could be the Tumas Hadeshen holds with the Rabbanon, but he accepts it as a machlokes only in the Doraisa. But don't say because Lailos Manchenu Chamilo, don't say because the night, people fall asleep at night, which is strict. Because places already in Sukkah, Lamed Ches remove that spot. Anyhow, seems to be, this is what's important for us. The next two lines. Everybody has it? Umikomo Komnirani. Oh Hashem. Thank Hashem, my son got accepted Yeshiva. Oh Hashem. So wonderful. was sick, I was all worried sick. You know, when a child has a shom, it's not an yeshiva, you go to Shiur. I want to thank my son Moshe, that you prepared him, Shekoyach. Okay, we worked with him every day, 2 hours, and shot him. Make him from a child to a na. Let's say na. A youth, what? A youth, from a child to a youth. It's a big job. He's still a child, but he's gum. Hopefully he'll turn to a youth. But he's already getting to be gum. Okay. The time will make it by itself. The yeshiva didn't want to accept him, even though he was a genius. He was better than all the students. But he's a child. He can be a genius, but a child running around, he can't have a yeshiva. He's been running around. So they didn't want to accept him. He's a child.
What yeshiva is this?
It's yeshiva in Noam, some yeshiva in Ramot. And it's not Shanoah, because there's nothing bad, it's just a reality. So I told him, right, but time will come and change it. There's a famous story of the Briskerov. The Briskerov, people used to come knock on his door 24 hours to ask him shaylas. And he was a very kind person. He used to open the door and answer everyone. And people used to sleep on the floor, and anyway, poor people, and he didn't have no life. Mamish had everybody around him 24 hours, bothering all day long. It was a big honor. You should know, by the way, the Chaim Kanievsky is the same. And I was a Botzer. Chaim Kanievsky was saying, you little children, he used to ask Chaim Kanievsky questions of Chumash, Klotz Kasher. He used to answer everyone. Everyone, people bother him, growing up. And a little child, 5 years old, used to come to him, tell me Pshat and Rashi. And he used to answer him. Mamish. Chaim Kanievsky. So they said the Briskerov was the same thing. It was Mamish, Mafkirat Smoy, to take care of the tzibur. As a rabbi, he took away of his own personal life and gave him for the tzibur. So somebody knocked on the door. So I want to speak to the rabbi. So one of his children didn't want to bother his father. He opens the door. He says, yes. He says, yes, I want to speak to the rabbi. Yes. He says, wait a minute, I want to speak to the rabbi. He says, yes. I want to speak to the Briskerov. Talk. What are you talking about? Your child. He says, wait a second, I'm just missing time. Just missing time, a few more years. I'll be there also. You can talk to me. Okay. Let's continue on. It's a very sharp joke. Let's continue on the Mogan. And anyhow, it seems to me, the Mogan Avram says, tonight, when Kriyat Shema time comes, you can eat and you can taste the jelly bean. It's not dangerous, it's organic, healthy, who knows? You don't have to be strict in tasting in general. So the halacha, the Mogan Avram, the halacha is, although there is an extreme opinion of the Tumas Hadeshe and you can't even taste, this is not the halacha. The halacha when time of the Oraisa and Sholi de Rabbonon, of Megillah, or Tefillah, or even the Oraisa of Kriyat Shema, the prohibition is only to have a meal. You might forget. Eat too much, forget. But if it's just tasting alone is not a problem. That's the halacha. Wait a second. But what about Kiddush and Avdallah? Oh. That's really where it starts into our This is not similar to Kiddush and Avdallah. The Osulitoim. By Kiddush and Avdallah, you're not allowed to taste. The Gemara says, Osulitim, you're not allowed to taste. Gemara later on. When Shabbos enters, Shabbos Kovalatzma by itself. And we saw the Rashi. Let's see the Rashbam again in the Kufay. He says, Keshem shekoveach lemaseh pirush. Achilas aray de Shabbos chashiv yoyso kvar lemaiser. Mishum de'ave oineg ve'afilu besudas kol du koval. Rashi says that when you eat in Shabbat, and every eating is its pleasure, so the Shabbos makes a temporal eating to be important, to be considered set eating. If that's so, I can't even taste, because tasting means eating a meal. Because by Shabbos, the importance of Shabbos, like not eating temporal food which not ma'aser and erev Shabbos. Without ma'aser. Why? Because the Shabbos is the language of the Rashba. He defines this very nicely. Shabbos, achilas aray de Shabbos, the temporarily eating of Shabbos, chashivi oiso keva. It considered as a set eating for ma'aser. Mishum, because the aveoine, because it's a pleasure. Afilu sudas koldu, even suda, any meal, any koldu. What is the word koldu? Even something of eating.
What's the word suda? It says we're eating.
Very good. Even suda koldu, even eating koldu.
Suda's not eating.
Koldu. What's the word koldu? Small. It is because the result made it. Because the result. Kevaru becomes a set meal. A set eating.
Which Rashba?
Rashbam in Kufhei, Keshem, the three lines are the big lines. The continuation. Keshem Koveas Lamais. So that's why now to taste. Because the importance of Shabbos makes whatever you eat to become a set eating.
The reason it says sudu because of eating, that's the case is the sudu.
The case there is Seuda.
They were sitting before, and
No.
they told them don't have to stand up, let's eat. Don't have
But Kovel and Maise.
So they did the same
For Maise, that's what I mean.
No, Kishem. It's Kishem.
No, we're not opposite. The same way by Maise, temporally can eat, also for Kiddush.
But the Medamet, the Yadim.
The Rav was Medamet Maise to us, the Kiddush.
But the noise before was.
But it's not what he's not talking about noise before, he's talking about Rav. Rav Amuna learned, he says, he told those guys, you're eating Shabbos sets. Like your Rebbe, Rav said, that the same way you're not allowed to eat a temporal meal with, temporal food without Meiser and Shabbos, also known as Kovea for Kiddush. So he's not talking about the same stuff. Yes, Rabbi Yoshua.
The Rashba right there in that you were reading right there, he has a lie in the fact that if you don't buy some before Shabbos, that you don't eat it, that's a lie.
Again, repeat.
At the end of that Rashba,
Right. Right.
It's a lie. You have to buy some before Shabbos. There'd be no eating a rye on Shabbos, right?
Right. When it gets dark, it turns to the food of Shabbos by itself. Because it turns into an important meal into Shabbos sets itself.
And that jelly bean's pleasurable.
That's jelly bean, right. Okay, let's continue on.
What's together of tasting and eating?
It's not so clear to us, but I understand it like the laws of Birkas Hamazon. Eating a food as eating bread, eating masoidish where you set your meal on it, or eating 3-4 eggs without setting a meal, it by itself turns to a meal. Drinking two revi'is by Kiddush, second revi'is becomes to a meal.
What about Machalos Asuros in Botzer and
Okay, it's a shayla, like it's in eating or not.
Is it licking it? You
How is it
can't
showing
eat
you
a
that?
tray for jelly bean.
Right.
Jelly bean.
Right. So there's a shayla, this Machalos is considered eating or not, reference to but we're talking about now why the subject is, guys, why by Kiddush and Avdolah you're not allowed even to taste, and by before Kriya Shema you're allowed to taste la'aloch, although there's a sheet of Tumas Hadeshem which he doesn't hold so, but la'aloch you're allowed to taste, and by Kiddush Avdolah according to everyone you're not allowed. There's no argument according to everyone you're allowed to taste. So we just read a Svala because Shabbos makes it important. So whatever he tastes, it becomes like a set meal. He doesn't answer that. Look what he answers. Look what the Magen Avraham answers. Not like the Rashbam. Let's see what he says. The Hanhu, where's the word Hanhu? Those means Kiddush and Avdolah. Itkan Dafka B'tchis Alayim was fixed specifically in the beginning of the night. Beknisos v'tzios, when it enters or goes out. Whoa. It's a whole different world. The Magen Avraham says, you know why by Kiddush and Avdolah I'm not allowed to even taste, and by Kriya Shema I'm not allowed to eat, but tasting I'm allowed la'alocha. Because the Kiddush and Avdolah originally was designated in the beginning of the night. So when I taste, I'm doing an opposition of my obligation. It's not like I can do Kiddush the whole night. I can daven Maya the whole night. I can read Megillah the whole day or the whole night. I can do Bdika. Bdika is not so simple. We're going to see later on that the Sivas Bdika is the same, because I have to do Bdika in the beginning of the night. And that's what Nachman says, you're not even to learn Torah. Abaye. And that's why he says also you're not allowed to taste in Erev Pesach. Not in Erev Pesach, in the Erev Dikas Chometz. That's his Kiddush of the Yeshiva on this. But what?
In the middle of a dika, if you get hungry or thirsty.
You're in it now.
You in it? No, when he comes in.
Before.
We'll see. We're just going to talk about it in the Sivas. I don't know if I have the time, that's why I'm only throwing it out. People should learn it themselves. So again, so there comes the Mogen Avram and he says, no, there's a difference between Kriyas Shema, that you can daven all night, when the night starts, but it's all night. So there, I'm not allowed to eat because I might forget, but the taste is not such a big thing. And he says also to learn Torah. To learn Torah is not such a position, because I can do Kriyas Shema the whole night. But by Kiddush and Havdalah, the time is right in the entrance. That's the time, that's the takon of the time. You could do later on, but it's not its time. So therefore, if I taste, even tasting doesn't matter. Not only eating, you might forget. Any action you do is an opposition, your obligation to do Kiddush. There's two ways to learn this Mogen Avram. The way I just said it now. And I think that's what it says in the Ram Shabbos. You guys have to look in the Ram Shabbos. I printed it here. And there's another way to read it, the way the Nesivas, the Mekor Chaim, I printed here. And he brings two options, and he makes a decision not like that. He says, you know what's a pshat in Mogen Avram? Doesn't mean that when Shabbos enters, right away you have a chiv to do Kiddush. Because if so, we should daven early. When Shabbos, right away do Kiddush. Or you're not allowed to learn Torah when Shabbos enters. Every Shabbos night, stop everything you're doing. Can't taste. Okay, he says a chiv can't taste. But the Mogen Avram says, the Nesivas add on that. This is the Mekor Chaim printing here. He said, if this is true, Dim Ken, this is the last big line and the big lines in the Mekor Chaim. It says a number 272. The Im Kain is the pshat. Two lines. Omram Nide. However, seems to be the Masha Kosa Mogen Avram, the Niskan Betchilo, when Avram says that Kiddush was fixed in the beginning of the night. Ein HaKavona. The Kavona is not like I just said before, which I found Iran like that. Okay, so I think that's the Kavona. He says that's not the pshat that Kiddush Nitka Betchilas HaLayla, that the Kiddush was fixed in the beginning of the night. The Imken, if so, I'm not saying there's a like that, but we'll see soon. The Imken, if so, or you're also Limboy Khan Kiddush. If so, I'm not allowed to taste, and add more, I'm not allowed to learn before Kiddush. V'gam Ratzov Lekaddish, because I'm a person that have to do Kiddush right away. Don't go and daven, have home davening and singing. Hey, you have a chiv to do Kiddush, do right away Kiddush. Ela Kavon, must be the Kavon of the Mogen Avram is. The Nitkan Etchila Shuma Achila. I made a mistake. This is what the Ran says. The way he learns is the Ran, but the other way, okay. Ela Kavona the Nitkan Etchila Shuma Achila. The Kavona of the Mogen Avram is that the Kiddush was fixed to start with the Kiddush beginning of eating. Lekach also b'ti'ima. This is the point. This is the main point. The Nesivas explains the Mogen Avram. What the Mogen Avram says, like if I have Kriyas Shema, I'm allowed to taste. I'm not allowed to eat. I'm allowed to taste. Because tasting is not something that I might go afterwards, just a small jelly bean. Maybe go pack or have a stomach ache. So, okay, he tastes. So taste is not a stila because I have the whole night. But by Kiddush, I'm not able to taste. Kiddush and Havdalah, why? Because the time, it's in the beginning. They fix in the beginning of the night when the night enters. So the Nesiva says, doesn't mean that when Shabbat 5:7:43, Shabbos ended, that's really the obligation of the Kiddush. That doesn't mean literally. Because if that's so, not only not to taste, you're not allowed to learn Torah from then on, and you're not allowed to even to learn Torah. And the other thing is, you're not allowed to do, you have to do Kiddush right away. Must be, no, it's not the Pshat. The Pshat is that the Kiddush was fixed in the beginning of the eating. Chilas halayla means, beginning of that means beginning of eating. And if you taste, it's an opposition to the obligation of Kiddush, because the beginning of eating is tasting. When you eat, you stop tasting and you eat it. So tasting is a Kiddush. So tasting is an opposition that the beginning of eating has to do with Kiddush. The Kiddush has to be the beginning of eating.
There's two suits of tasting. Then you're learning two different suits.
I'm just saying the Nesivas. The Nesivas says that the tasting is an opposition to the chiyuv that the kiddush needs to be the beginning of the eating.
Because that's what you have to do a map of good and
Oh, Rabbi Yisrael, the Rabbi Botzer, that's the point I want to say today. Oh, if this is what the Yeshiva says, Pshat Mugen Avram, so that's what the Ran says in Masechet Shabbos. I picked the Ran. The Ran says is in the page below, and the page at the other side of the page, the last line in the right column. He says, wait a second. Rabbi says, Rabbi the name of Shmuel says you cover the bread and you do Kiddush and Erev Shabbos. What do you mean? Why you don't need? I started Beheter way before, so it's not a steer to Kiddush, just no. Also, my time there, the reason is, there's a second column, the last little piece in the Ran. The last 3 lines. Ayu time, the reason is, Mishum the Kiddush v'lo sudo. Kiddush needs to be in a place of a meal. Umekamei seudo yitkin. And they fix the Kiddush in the beginning of the meal. But any other mitzvah d'oraisa, v'shal mitzvah d'oraisa, when I start before, we started way before, we don't care. You don't have to stop. But by Kiddush, why when Shabbat, Kiddush and Avdol, I'm not allowed even to taste? I must cover the bread. Why? I started in the right time, way before. Because there's a law that Kiddush is to be in a place of eating. And when in the eating I need to do Kiddush, not in the middle of the afternoon, the beginning of the Kiddush. Like the Yeshiva said, Shabbat Mogen Avram. So Mimele, the reason now we have a new reason, a new understanding, not like the Rashbam and Toysves. Wow! We have a new explanation why Rav Yudah Shmuel says you need to cover the bread. We said until now it's a poquito taking away the designated meal. Rabbi says you have to take away the takeaway back. Rabbi says I don't care about it. What about mitzvah kiddush I can do later on and kiddush I'm not going to forget. And Rabbi Shmuel says a middle ground. Do a little bit of an action to show Sikav Shabbos. Right? Now we say no. There's a halacha that when you sanctify the Shabbat with words on Kiddush on a cup, so in order that the Kiddush will be connected to the cup, you have to have a cup, you have to drink. And not only that, the Kiddush has to be with a meal. Because in order to give the importance of Kiddush, it has to be with a meal. When in the meal? In the middle, the end, or in the beginning? The beginning. That in order the whole meal connect to the Kiddush and importance of the Kiddush. So part of Kiddush, part of the honor of Kiddush, that I want to honor the Shabbos and sanctify the Shabbos, has to be the Kiddush in the place of the meal, in the beginning of the meal, to connect the meal to the Kiddush, to make importance to the Kiddush, to the sanctifying of the Shabbos. So it has to be the beginning of Shabbos. So that's why. No, it has to be the beginning of the meal. How can I create the beginning of the meal? By covering the bread and uncovering, I created a new meal. So then the Kiddush was on the beginning of the meal, so I sanctified the Shabbos with an important drink on the beginning of a whole meal, that later on the whole meal connects to the Kiddush. It's all part of the Chashim of the Kiddush. It's a whole pshat in the Ran. Let's go over it. So now we have 2 pshatim. Why we do a whole new pshat? Yes, Rabbi.
So no one's arguing. Everyone is the same.
No, because the Rashbam says the reason why I need a cover, because I need a small poquito akira shulchan. Rabbi says you need a big akira shulchan, you need a big ma'aser to designate.
Why you have to do it?
No, they're saying because of Kavod Shabbos. I'm saying because of Kavod Kiddush.
Yeah, maybe
No, they're talking about Kavod Shabbos in order to honor the Kiddush. It's one is between Kiddush and Kiddush and Tziyon. 2 different pshatim. That's exactly the point. Let's go over it again. According to the Mogen Avram, according to the Rashbam and Tosfot, this is the Iker now. The Iker there. Say a big Kiddush today. It's worth to come to Tziyon. Daf Shin Ein Teis and Parshas Ele Masik Kiddush. So Mogen Avram, we found it also clearly in the Ran. Let's go over it. There's 2 ways to understand why Rav Yudah Shmuel says, stop eating, cover the bread and say Kiddush. Is it like just said now, stop eating? A Shabbos by itself tells you to stop. Right? So Mimele, the meal is a Shabbos meal. But Shmuel is machmir, you don't need to do a big action to show, to recognize the meal of the Shabbos. Make a small action, cover the bread and uncover. So now after Kiddush you uncover the bread, so it means you start a new meal. So now it shows that the meal was a meal of Shabbos. But the Kiddush in the beginning there was no connection. Kiddush, you must do Kiddush to permit your prohibition to eat. And uncovering the bread is in order to make a meal for the sake of Shabbos, to do an action, not a full action of taking away the table and bringing it back. Covering and uncovering makes the Shabbos that is the meal for the sake of Shabbos. This is the way the Rashbam and the Toises and most of the Rishonim learn. Now we learn a new pshat. We say, and then we have a problem. What about you're not allowed to eat when you have Kiddush? Okay, you have all night. You're busy with the Shabbos, like Toises says. I would say no. A new pshat. That when the time of Kiddush comes, you're not allowed to eat. So why need to cover the bread? Because you must do Kiddush. When Shabbos enters, Yom Tov enters, you must do Kiddush. Beginning of the night, Mamish? No. You can learn Torah. You can still daven, sing, and Kali Bachshul. You can go on. But you have to do Kiddush when you want to eat at night. When you want to do Kiddush, you have to have important Kiddush on a cup. And not only that, you have the importance of the Kiddush on a cup, you have to be in a meal, to connect to the meal. Otherwise, the Kiddush is flying. It's a drone. It has to be connected to the ground of Shabbos. So you do it on a Kiddush, on a cup of wine, important sanctification of Shabbos. And you have to have a meal, because the meal importance the Kiddush of Shabbos. And you have to have the beginning of the meal in order that the whole future meal be connected to the Kiddush of the Shabbos. So why do you need to cover the bread and uncover? To make a new start. Even though you started way before, and any mitzvah d'oraisa you started way before, there's no problem by forgetting. Because you started ahead, because we don't call you to stop. But here, there's another problem. You want to designate the Kiddush, to honor the Kiddush, to value the Kiddush, to be on a meal. Because then it's an important meal, important Kiddush. And now that's what you have to do in the beginning. The beginning of the takona of the Kiddush, the beginning of it, like the Yeshiva says, like the Ram says. Why? Because it gives, now in the Ram we added more, because it gives Chashivas to the Kiddush. That's why Rabbi Omar Shmuel is a new shita. Rabbi says you need to stop to designate the meal by taking away the table. Rabbi says I don't need to designate by itself. Rabbi Omar Shmuel says cover the bread and uncover it. So therefore you did an action to designate the meal of Shabbos, not because you need a meal of Shabbos, it's time to designate, because you need the meat to designate the meal of Shabbos for the sake of Kiddush. To sanctify the Kiddush, the important Kiddush. It's a new Shabbos. Well, and therefore, if that's true, only tasting is in opposition. Tasting is in opposition to the Kiddush being on a meal, in the beginning of a meal for the sake of Shabbos. But learning Torah, no, you can learn. To do right away when the night comes, no chiyuv. Oh, when you start tasting and eating, sanctify the Shabbos, and have it on a meal that the whole meal will be for the sake of Kiddush.